Welcome back. I'm Gary Goldman. I'm the host of the Five Star Food Show. This is actually the premiere of the Five Star Food Show. I'm very excited to be here and so excited to have Al DeNapoli from Tarlow Breed. Welcome.
Hey, welcome, Gary. Pleasure to be here, too. Thank you for bringing me on in the inaugural launch of this great show.
So, Al, you've been in the business a long time as an attorney. Why don't you tell us some of the things that you do and the things that you do for clients who are in the food industry?
Sure. It's one of those things when I think when you go out and practice or start to practice law, you're not quite sure sometimes which direction your legal degree will take you. So I never went into law thinking that I would be working in the food industry. Started as a litigation attorney, and I remember one fine day my senior partner said, "Hey, Al, TGI Fridays down on Newbury Street is having a fight with their neighbors behind the alley. See if you can go straighten it out because the licensing board is going to have a hearing in a couple of days over this." I said, "Okay, I guess so." So I went down to Newbury Street, met with the people at TGI Fridays, and worked out a deal with them and the neighbors that everyone was happy with. The licensing board was happy with it. And from then, I represented TGI Fridays in New England for 27 years.
So that was a great gig. And you do big, small, intermediate, all types of different clients you have.
Exactly. And from TGI Fridays, I figured, well, if I can do TGI Fridays and I enjoy working with them, I might as well see what else I can do in the restaurant area. And I have. So I've branched out. I represent a number of other chains, people who have one place, and now from a lot of hotel management companies, management companies that come in, manage the food service and beverage service in the hotels under certain flags, and then also a cruise line. So I've branched out and doing a lot of work in the food industry. And I think my litigation background and the fact that I still do business litigation is something that I bring unique to the restaurant business because I have that background as opposed to someone who's just working in the administrative, legal, licensing areas of this stuff. So I've done a lot, seen a lot. In fact, I've taken cases all the way to the SJC that have spun out of my working in SJC being the Supreme Judicial Court, the highest court in Massachusetts, regarding the restaurant business that I work in.
Great. So it's great with this expertise that you're able to connect with different restaurants. Let's go through a couple of different scenarios. I'm opening up a new restaurant. What type of legal counseling or expertise would I need from the contract through the opening, through the licensing? What kind of things do I need an attorney for?
Well, one of the first things as an attorney when people come to me with that type of question is probably non-legal advice. I have to say, are you ready to take it on the chin? Because this is not just being a social host and inviting people into your cooking, your drinking, and sharing it with them. This is hard work. And it's a very difficult business. So you're going to have to make sure that you have your financing in place. Can't risk the fact that, a lot of businesses and restaurants aren't successful, have a firm business plan, and willing to work with them as to looking at their business plan to make sure it makes sense. And then location, obviously, finding a location that fits in with the business plan. Many times people go into locations with not understanding the idea of what they may need, whether it be competition down the road, whether they want to put out-seat dining and won't be allowed to do so, what kind of zoning restrictions. So that's one of the first things we're going to do is let's look at the location you have that you're thinking of and what kind of zoning restrictions there might be there and what you can do and how that won't hinder your business plan and how you want to grow. It can be very complicated, and people can down the line want to look at their lease and want to say, well, geez, I can't do that, or I'm caught here, and they should know that up front. And also in creating, your company, whether you want to bring in partners, what kind of agreement are you going to have, an operating agreement, so that as you grow, what is going to be the responsibility of your partners? Are they going to be active partners, going to be passive partners? what happens when you want to change the dynamic of how the business runs, whether you want to expand. All those things should be discussed when you're putting together your document. Or at least have a document that is organic enough that it can grow with the way you want to grow in your vision.